YouTube, Niner Empire, what is going down? Welcome back to another video. This is a little surprising. Definitely did not see this coming, but the 49ers are hiring former Colts defensive coordinator Gus Bradley to join their defensive staff. So Gus Bradley was fired by the Indianapolis Colts last month, and according to Tom Pelissero, he is being hired by the 49ers to a role on the defensive staff. So his role has yet to be disclosed. I don't know if he's going to play and be in a similar role to kind of what Brandon Staley was last season with the 49ers, how he kind of overseen the defense as kind of like a quality control coach, but he was also the assistant head coach. I don't know if this is a similar situation to that. However, this is a very intriguing hire. Gus Bradley was actually one of the potential 49er defensive coordinator candidates before they hired Robert Saleh back. They never interviewed Gus Bradley. I don't even know if Kyle Shanahan had any interest in bringing Gus Bradley in to be their defensive coordinator if they would have missed out on Robert Saleh. However, he was definitely a name thrown out there to be in the, in kind of to be like a name to watch for the 49ers defensive coordinator role. So, again, he was previously the Colts defensive coordinator. He was with them from 22 to 24. He was previously with the Raiders in 2021. As their defensive coordinator, and then he was with the Chargers from 2017 to 2020, again as their defensive coordinator. So obviously heading to San Francisco for Gus Bradley will reunite him with Robert Saleh, and who they have a good relationship, or who he has a good relationship with. It's kind of funny. It's almost like a full circle moment. So Saleh and Gus Bradley worked together on the Seahawks when Gus Bradley was their defensive coordinator. Saleh back then was actually the defensive quality control coach for the Seahawks. And then when Gus Bradley was the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, he brought Robert Saleh to Jacksonville to be their linebackers coach from 2014 to 2016. So these guys have worked with each other for a very long time. They're familiar with each other. They clearly still have a very good relationship, and this kind of screams Robert Saleh hire. There's no doubt in my mind that Saleh reached out to Gus Bradley, knowing that he didn't have a job yet, and reached out to him to join the Niners staff. And again, his role has yet to be disclosed. We don't know what his role will be in the 49ers defensive staff. However, I could see it being a quality control coach. They do have a defensive backs coach opened up currently. They're expected to interview D'Angelo Hall for that position. That interview hasn't actually taken place yet, which is weird because it was expected to take place. It hasn't taken place to my knowledge yet. So maybe he coaches the defensive backs. Maybe he's like a defensive quality control coach. Or like I said at the beginning of the video, maybe he's in a similar role to what Brandon Staley was for the 49ers last year. So it'll be interesting to see what role that they give Gus Bradley. But this is a very intriguing hire. I love this hire. Obviously, not only do him and Robert Saleh have a good relationship, but this guy is a very well-known and very highly touted defensive-minded coach in the NFL. He's been a head coach before. He's primarily been a defensive coordinator. But again, man, I think this is a hire that, obviously with Saleh coming to San Francisco, he's going to want to assemble his own defensive staff. And I think that's what we're seeing here with the hiring of Gus Bradley. So again, I love the move. I think it's very good to have a guy like Gus Bradley in the coaching staff to some degree. Obviously, he's going to be working with the defense, but just to have a guy like Gus Bradley, have another mind, a highly touted mind within this, coaching staff is always good to have. So this coaching staff going into 2025 already looks ridiculously better than what it did for the past 2 years. For the Niners to get Gus Bradley to their coaching staff to not be a defensive coordinator and to potentially be like a position coach or a quality control coach is huge. I mean, obviously, Gus Bradley could be a defensive coordinator in this league. I think he's a proven defensive coordinator in this league, and I know a lot of Niner fans when they were in the process of interviewing certain candidates to be their defensive coordinator. I know a lot of fans out there didn't like the idea of Gus Bradley being hired as the defensive coordinator, and I think it's just simply because in recent years he's struggled with certain teams in being their defensive coordinator. But I think being in a good situation matters. And I think you get a guy like Gus Bradley in a situation where he's, coaching, one of the better defenses in the league with the 49ers. I think it's going to make a massive difference because clearly this guy knows his stuff. And he's going to be a very good, coach within this defensive staff. And obviously, if anybody knows, good defensive coaches and good guys to take this defense to another level, good candidates to take this defense to another level, it's Robert Saleh. And obviously, Brandon Staley's not back, or he won't be back. They got rid of Nick Sorensen. He went to Dallas to be their special teams coordinator. So I would expect a couple more Robert Saleh hires for this defensive staff. But again, love the move for the Niners. They're getting another guy that knows defense through in and throughout. And I think it's, a hire that will help this team. You're bringing a guy like Gus Bradley. He's a leader of men. I think players are going to like him. And again, if there's one person that knows how to assemble a good defensive staff, it's Robert Saleh. So let me know what you guys think of the 49ers hiring Gus Bradley to join their defensive staff. Obviously, whenever his role with the team is, disclosed, I will obviously update you guys on that. But I love the move. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Crazy to think that this guy could have been a candidate for our defensive coordinator position on the Niners, but the Niners get their guy that they wanted all along in Robert Saleh, and they end up bringing in Gus Bradley as a defensive assistant under Saleh. So pretty crazy stuff. I definitely didn't expect this to happen, but knowing that Gus Bradley didn't get a defensive coordinator job, and I'm pretty sure every team has hired a defensive coordinator. So knowing that he didn't get this job, it's not surprising to see him come to a team as a defensive assistant and not a defensive coordinator. So big hire by the Niners. This coaching staff is much better than it was the past 2 years already. And the 49ers still have a few roles to fill on their coaching staff. So let me know what you guys think of this in the comments down below. As always, go Niners, and I'll see you guys in the next one.